Well, the last time I played this big, it was the biggest losing session of my life. I lost 150. If you want to play high stakes, you have to play high stakes.
Dude, I mean, I think it would be funny if we just like tricked everybody into listening to this podcast, and instead of doing a pod, we just did ASMR for everyone.
Just flog each other
for like 3 hours. What is flogging?
I'm not sure. I just learned. I'm learning about it from a lady that is sharing her company with me. She's into it.
Sharing her company?
We're sharing each other's company.
Nice.
We are
investing in each other.
We are hanging out with each other.
Nice.
In public.
In a sexual manner?
No. Whoa. You know, no. Just out in public. You know, interacting.
Yeah.
Talking. Getting to know each other.
Nice.
But yeah, apparently flogging is popular.
It's a popular thing.
Yeah, I don't know if is it whipping? Is that or is it?
Oh, does she like to whip you or to be whipped?
Like I just said, we just met each other, so we're just
But
discussing.
if you bring up that you like flogging, I feel like you would.
Well, I'm not sure what it is. Is it whipping?
Brandon.
Flogging. Here we go.
In with the terminology.
Flogging is to use a whip for sexual enjoyment. Okay, it is a sexual endeavor.
A flogger shall remain for the moment any flexible. Oh, now
many-tailed striking
the flogger, believe it or not, is not the person that is doing the whipping. The flogger is the instrument
whipped?
with which we're whipping.
Okay,
so that's pretty interesting.
The flogger is the tool.
Yeah. So in this example, you would not be the flogger. You would be using the flogger upon the lady whom likes to be flogged.
No, I think she does the flogging.
Oh.
I could be wrong, though.
That's not really...
Like I said, it's pretty new.
So that's a fetish, but it's also like you just like to beat people up at that point. Like if you're into whips and chains, like I feel like you got to take a little bit yourself, you know?
Yeah, it can't be far from like being a dominatrix, right? Like.
Yeah. I mean, that's more of a career path than it is a
sexual kink.
Yeah.
It's more of like a business.
It is a business.
Yeah.
But I guess, you know, things that are businesses can be sexual too, right? Like some people...
like porn.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Yeah.
Some people fuck on camera for fun and then watch back later.
Yeah.
Have you ever made a videotape of yourself having sexual?
Not in many years, but my last relationship, we did some miniature or... amateur, not miniature. Hopefully it wasn't miniature.
Miniature porn.
Average. Some average porn.
How do you do miniature porn?
No, I meant.
Do you bring in like a mini horse?
I meant amateur. I meant amateur. Damn it. It's average porn.
I forgot who said this bit, but it's so fucking true. Somebody on stage one night goes, you know, all these years on Pornhub and I still can't spell amateur. You're like,
that was a bit?
Yeah,
that's good.
Fucking genius.
Yeah, and now he'll never know because it's banned.
Yeah, well, sometimes you can spell it EUR and sometimes you can spell it URE.
Amateur.
Yeah.
That's how they say it in golf.
What I don't like is it's a lot of professionals now, people that are, you know, porn stars or OnlyFans chicks filming their own fucking as if it's amateur. So, like, just because you don't have somebody holding the camera means it's amateur porn.
Yeah.
You're still a millionaire from shaking your titties, you know? Like, when I say amateur, I want, like, a sex tape of someone that's not in the biz, like a one and done, you know?
Isn't it crazy how, like, the most popular porn is realistic?
Yeah.
Like, they don't want it to look like porn.
Yeah.
They want it to be like just watching people have like a couple have sex. That's like not
very good at it.
But like yeah. Or
what if it was like that for everything else? They're just like.
Or do you want the girl to not be a slut? Like this girl doesn't do this.
She doesn't do this.
Yeah.
What
but you're literally watching porn
for everything else. Like they're like, I'm amateur basketball.
Like the best videos are like, oh, this girl, this is her first time. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
That would be sick.
Yeah.
We're watching fucking people play basketball for the first time, just being like, this is so great. I don't like watching the pros. You know, I like.
Are we gonna break
Speaking
down
of
this
first
hand?
Times,
Oh, the old fashioned.
don't be impatient. All right, we
Sorry.
have a full hour to be here on this pod, dude.
Just an hour?
This is our very first
I
episode.
can't last an hour.
You know,
I made these old fashions.
You did a great job.
My first go at it. It's not bad.
Now, what's the difference between an old fashioned and a Manhattan?
I stopped waiting tables a long time ago, so I'm not sure.
The CIA didn't blow up 2 buildings in old fashioned.
That's one of your bits.
It's a terrible bit. And it's literally never worked, and I keep trying it over and over.
The CIA
again.
never blew 2. What is it?
It's one of those ones where it doesn't work, and I keep doing it simply because it doesn't work.
Here, I want to hear it again.
What's the difference between an old fashioned and Manhattan?
What?
The CIA didn't crash planes into 2 buildings in old fashioned.
It's stupid.
It's really stupid.
It's really stupid.
Yeah.
But it made me laugh. I heard that on one of your shows.
Yeah, one guy will always love it in the audience, and I do it for that guy. There's always one guy. I'll be like, "Thank you," and everyone else is like,
"Well, I've heard."
Brandon looked it up. Yeah.
The difference between an old-fashioned and Manhattan lies.
The first thing where you wanted to know the answer, I thought you were doing a bit, and then the thing you were doing a bit, I was like, "Here's the answer."
Here's the real answer. The key difference between an old-fashioned and a Manhattan lies in their sweetness. Old-fashioned uses sugar and simple syrup, while Manhattan uses sweet vermouth, a fortified wine.
Okay.
What's a fortified wine? No, we're not doing this.
So not big difference. Not a big difference.
Oh my god, dude, that's fucking unbelievable.
Matty loves the Manhattans.
I love Manhattans.
He'll eventually be a guest. My best friend Matt O'Donnell. He'll be on here.
He's a fucking beast, dude.
Yeah, he's autistic and funny, and
I think for Matt's episode we should break down my chess games.
Yeah.
And just be like,
yeah,
Jesus Christ. Today on Is Joe Begley Retarded?
Do you like my sign?
I do love it. ELE.
I set up the lounge. We got T1000. This is my friend's beef jerky company, TKO Jerky. I got a little alien. I think it's his name is Reed. Reed the alien. This is for all the UFO people.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Reed the alien.
For all 17 people that are going to see this.
I think a lot of people are going to see it, dude. You're a rising poker superstar, and I'm one of the rising superstars in Austin comedy.
Yeah, until the downswing hits. Right now, everything's going great.
He's the rising superstar.
Yeah, I'm the rising star, and until it turns. Until I stop, shitting out on everybody.
To always make the comedy and poker analogy, though, when I'm like on a heater, when I have like new bits in the rotation and they're working, I'm just like, I can't wait till this falls apart. Because like when it starts falling apart, just like, I don't know. It's truly embarrassing how much my like emotions and how I'm doing in stand-up are tied together. Like I'm having good sets right now, so I'm having an awesome time. Mm-hmm. And as soon as I stop coming up with new material, I'll just be like, I don't even know I'm doing this. Yeah. This is such a waste of my time. I should be working at a desk job.
Or like a fast food chain.
Or doing the T1000 podcast.
Yeah.
But, well, dude, we're fucking killing it. This is fun.
Yeah, I already finished my first old fashioned.
Should we make another one?
I mean, I'm down. Can we pause?
I don't think we should pause. I think that would be a bad idea.
Let's pause 4 minutes in to the first episode.
Let's pause right now.
Yeah, we've been rolling for a whopping 10 minutes.
Yeah, and cut.
And cut. Hold
on. Guys, I'm putting you on timeout. You have to do at least 20 minutes before you can have another drink, all right?
Fuck. Yeah, Brandon, can you be here till 8 tonight?
Yeah.
You come home to Eric and she's like, why are you guys blacked out? What podcast?
Yeah, just the pod.
We were working. We were at work, doing work. All right, so, dude, you had one of the biggest heaters of your career over the weekend.
I've had one of the biggest heaters of my career the last 3 months.
Fuck yeah.
And then last week I won the biggest pot of my life. Mm-hmm. And I think it was the most I've won in a single session ever as well.
Yeah.
In a cash game.
What a difference a year makes. I mean, I feel like I saw you pretty much a year ago exactly, where this year I saw you on your birthday, hammered, in a cowboy hat, shades on.
Blacked out. Everyone's there. You're having the time of your life. Apparently I was telling masturbation stories at dinner in front of my parents.
You were telling a lot of jerking off stories.
Maddie said I wouldn't quit. Like,
you would not stop.
I would start and then stop and then restart and then I just wouldn't.
That should have been the first episode of the T1000 podcast. JC's 30-second birthday dinner stories, or whatever birthday it was. 34.
And my father's a worship leader, and my mom is a children's pastor. And we're at a dinner with 20 of my closest friends, and I'm talking about masturbation.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny.
But you were having a good time. And my point is, exactly a year before this, I'm sitting with you in the 210-degree sauna, and you're like, dude, I'm not going to drink for the whole I'm not going to drink for this whole year.
Yeah.
And you were like,
that's right.
You were like, dude, I fucking feel like shit. Things are going off the rails. I'm losing poker. I can't get girls to talk to me. Like, what the fuck?
Well, I don't remember saying that last part.
And like, I just keep banging all these guys, and I can't stop doing
I remember
it.
saying
It's
that
really
part.
fucking bad, and they just keep coming over. And I don't know where they
I've never had
from.
a problem with the dudes.
But dude, you're on like this fucking historic downswing at this point, right? Like,
I was losing a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't seem to be having fun.
Yeah.
And you were pretty like being depressed in a sauna. That means you're really depressed.
Well, sure. Like for you, it's comedy. For me, it's poker. When you put all your time into something and it's not going well, it's tough to feel good about yourself. Your self-esteem kind of goes down.
Yeah. What changed? What was the difference? Alcohol. You should keep drinking.
Alcohol is good. That's what I found out. No, I still disagree with that, but
it helps sometimes.
I think, balance is important.
Handstands.
Yeah. Like having a good routine is important. I don't think like anything majorly changed. I think in my industry, variance is a huge factor, and there's a luck factor, and you're going to go through swings where you lose and you're going to go through swings where you win. And they both have snowball effects. So like when you lose confidence, and then you start playing worse, which makes you lose more.
Yeah.
And when you win, you gain confidence, which imbues you to make more bold plays, and you start to play better, which in turn makes you win more. So it snowballs either way. And yeah, like this latest heater or upswing, I'm trying to just not really let it not get too high. So like after this like big session that I just had, my mom, I always call my mom after I play a stream, because she's watched it from day one for like the last 4 years. And
your mom rules.
My mom rules, and she's my best friend, and I want to make her happy. So I call her before and after. And so after,
Jake's going to be pissed when he sees this. He's like, I'm not even in the top 2. This fucking sucks.
So after the stream, I called her and I told, she's like, oh, how'd it go? I was like, oh, I won, a lot. And she, she asked how much, and I told her, and she's like, oh my God, how do you feel? And I said, I just feel numb. I didn't feel anything.
So there was
till I had drinks later on. I was like, oh my God,
rich, dude, this is sick.
Did you see how much I won? But no, talking to my mom, I was like, yeah, I feel fine. It's okay. But like, I mean, you have to cut off emotion when you're gambling for a lot of money. You can't get too high and can't get too low.
Can't get too low. And was that like, do you think that was a mistake that you were making a year ago when you were losing? Do you think you were getting too caught up in the downswing? Like maybe a little, because I think just from an outsider's perspective, it seemed like there was just too much going on, right? Like you just remove the booze from your system completely, right? Which you're not like the biggest drinker in the world, but to go from like kind of drinking to like just being like, yeah, I'm not doing anything, I'm locking in.
I'm typically like a 5 to 6 day a week sober guy.
Yeah, drinking 5 to 6 days a week, and then
no, sober 5 to 6 days a week, and then 1 to 2 days a week I go hard. And it's better if I keep it to 1 day. I think for myself, like work hard for 6 days out of the week, 1 day go nuts a little bit, deal with the hangover the next day, and get back on the horse. That seems to be like a zone that I'm content with for now. I think in the future I'd like to just go sober, But I think like when life slows down and maybe like I get in a relationship or potentially get married or start a family, I think it's kind of like naturally easier to leave the party scene and like the booze behind when that happens.
Yeah, because I mean, I feel like
when you're a single guy, you're just every day of your existence.
Well, dude, one of the things is like these guys that I met with over the past couple of days. We met on Monday to plan this event, and two of the dudes, their businesses are like day parties. So what they do is they're the guys that are doing like pop-up DJ things at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Their job's to party.
The opposite. So they do, one of the dudes runs this thing called Latte.
Okay.
Which is like they'll do a right off the bat in the morning day party, but it's non-alcoholic. And they're getting like crazy numbers, like 1,500 people in line waiting to go to these things. With people just like not boozing.
Really?
Yeah, people are just like, I feel like one of the things that I struggled with when I would take a month off is like I would crush up front. I would have a really good time. And then all of a sudden I'm in the back 9 of the month and I'm like, okay, well, I'm like not really talking to women. So that's a problem. And when my friends are like, hey, let's go get drinks on Friday, I'll hang out for a little bit and then I'll leave. But there's this thing where I feel like in order to maintain being social when you're not drinking, you have to provide
do mushrooms,
but also provide some sort of alternative for yourself, right? Like if you're sucking out the nighttime, then you need to replace it with something during the day. And I feel like not enough people have that where they're like, okay, yeah, I'll go to a yoga class, but a yoga class is a fucking hour and a walk around the lake is an hour.
Yeah.
You still need these social situations. So these guys are building this social scene based around coffee and electronic music, and it's really picking up steam.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of those flyers.
Yes, they're doing great.
Posts.
So if we need a 15 millionth business to
there
get into,
are still people doing drugs and drinking at those things, though. It's not all sober.
Yeah.
I've been to one of them, and there was people there from the previous night just sweating and like raccoon eyes. Yeah, like if there's a DJ with loud music and a bar, you're gonna attract degeneracy.
Yeah.
And that kind of behavior.
Because that would have been fucking...
It was an interesting interaction because there was a lot of sober people too.
Yeah, because you have the people that are like, dude, I just woke up. It's Sunday. I haven't drank in 3.5 years. I feel fucking amazing.
I went in my gym clothes. It was my friend had a birthday and she did a coffee party. Mm-hmm. Like what are they called?
What?
What are they called?
The coffee party?
They're like the morning raves.
One of them's like a lot. They've just Darty, right?
What?
A Darty.
Okay.
Have you never heard the term Darty?
No.
Stop it.
Day party. Is that
Brandon, have you heard the term Darty?
Yeah, I've heard of Darty.
Is he fucking with me when he says he's never heard of a Darty before?
I mean, I've heard of it.
You've never heard the term Darty? Come on.
No, I was homeschooled.
Sorry, I don't mean to be.
Can you not be judgmental?
I'm trying not to.
Tell me what it means, please.
I want to be day party.
That's what I said. I assumed.
But this is like in the lexicon, dude. This is out in the world.
Okay, so my friend had a birthday party. She's a DJ, and it was like it started at like 10 a.m.
Sorry, I didn't mean to be rude there.
No, it started at 10 a.m.
I feel like I came down on you too hard.
No, it's okay. I went in gym clothes.
Mm-hmm.
It was a Saturday, and I didn't party the night before, so I woke up feeling great, and I was gonna go to the gym, but I stopped by her Darty, and it was a mixture of sober people having like coffees and then people that were like zonked out on Molly from the night before.
I feel like when we were doing a bunch of coke, and by we I mean me, we had never met. But 2019 Joe in San Francisco just being like, I fucking love doing cocaine and staying up all night. So we'd like do coke and stay up all night, and then 8 a.m. would come around and there would be nothing to do.
Is that when you first
started dabbling?
Yeah.
No, many moons before that. With men?
Yeah.
San
Francisco,
I've
baby.
never done that. This is not remember, this is the
2019 Joe in San Francisco trying blow for the first time.
Not the first time. I've been 4 years deep in the game, dude. I've been deep in the game. But bro, that would have been a perfect opportunity for us if this culture of like sobriety had existed, where they were like all these people just doing like, there's an 8 a.m. day party at the Presidio for latte. There'd be all these sober people lined up in their fucking yoga pants, and then me and my friends would just be like, I can't fucking wait to get in there. You think we could smoke cigs inside?
Oh, man. Yeah, they're interesting. I've only been to one, but
it was dude. We would have a great time. What do you say? We break this thing down, shall we?
Yeah, the hand.
Okay, so let's start here. Let's set the context. We're at the 7 hour and 11 minute mark. You came into scene at
like 3.5 hours in.
Okay, so
I've been on the table for a while.
And how had the table gone? Like the game gone so far?
I bought in for $50K, and I believe I started this hand with 89,000. So I was up 39,000 at this point.
Mm-hmm. So you've been playing well.
I was getting some good spots. I think I was playing all right. I wasn't playing very aggressive because the game's like really big for me. So I was playing pretty passive and tight. But yeah, I had some good spots and some fortunate cards. So I was up 39K at this point.
Sick. Okay, so
the game was like super juicy.
Doug Polk on the left, and who's the guy on the right?
That's Bill Perkins.
Bill Perkins. Hell yeah. Let's let it rip.
Well, 9 years. Oh, I mean, that was a giant flop, obviously. Giant.
So Bill straddles to 800 this hand, and I open to 2K.
On the button wants to play for 2K.
The state is to poker.
Yeah.
It's so fun playing poker in Texas.
Suited connector.
Commission. It's like the rules are really poker player friendly. Even if you're playing public games.
One misconception I would
Folds
say
all the
is
way
that
around to Bill with
I
2
would
paint
say that,
cards.
like, for the first 8 years of me playing, I played in
He's ready to mix it up. Makes it 10,000.
Even like,
Of course.
yeah.
Wait,
So-
so Bill just raised to 10K.
But
Hold on. Perfect.
Yeah.
So you have 8-7 suited.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty weak hand, right?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
It's a hand that plays well in big pots.
Got it.
So like it's a hand that you definitely want over like a king 8 suited or queen 8 suited or ace 8 suited, because when people re-raise pre-flop, they tend to have like bigger hands. So you're kind of dominated a lot. But when you have 7-8 suited, and let's say Bill has like he has king queen or ace king or ace queen, you still have tons of equity because your hand doesn't block his hand. You don't block each other.
So you're playing you're looking
so I have
for
a different
different cards.
I kind of have a different part of the deck.
So the expectation is that there's a lot of people going in for a pot of this size because they have a lot of high cards, so they're going after those types of things.
They have strong hands.
But
Sure.
you might be on T1000 Island. Like 8-7 that's your territory.
It just depends on the situation. You don't want to any part of the deck can be a good spot.
So he goes 10. So Bill raises 10K.
Yeah, he 3-bets 10,000, and like I said, I started with 89, so it's 8K more to call, and I'm gonna be left with like 79,000 behind. So I think if I started the hand with like 60 or 70K, I just fold. But being this deep, with like a strong suited connector that can play like, that can flop really big, and win a big pot, I decided to call.
Wait, so with $60,000 or $70,000 in your stack, you would have not gone.
I probably would have folded for 8,000 more. I don't think I would have been deep enough to justify putting in 8 more thousand.
Got it.
But starting the hand with 90, I could justify putting in 10,000.
Sick. All right, Brandon, let him rip.
One misconception.
Some Broadway
about
cards.
Private games.
That's kind of what I'm doing. I'm getting like an exact count on my stack to
1,000
see.
doing some inventory on his stack, but
A lot of sharp guys.
in position against Bill, I think you want to be in there with the 7-8 and C3.
There's a lot of rich guys that
And they get better. Yeah, everyone gets better. But they're kind of capped with how good they get, but they get.
I'm also
it's
thinking in
not-
my head this is like could be the biggest pot of my
That's
life.
just the biggest misconception.
There's a lot of thoughts
It
going
almost
through,
feels like- it's like
but
here it
comes.
private games
just
work.
kind
Until
of trying to
like-
block everything
Let's see a
out.
flop.
Pause for
like they
1
kinda
second.
play.
So the guys on the commentary said that 7-8 suited, you want to be in there, right? That's their analysis of it. But
yeah, I mean, they're not professionals, but
you've got a 39% chance of winning the pot. Why is that like the case that you would most likely want to be in there?
Well, I mean, 40% equity is a ton.
A ton.
Yeah.
And there's nobody else in the pot except the two.
Yeah, it's heads up, and yeah, so versus king queen, it's 60-40, which is plenty of equity, and then you have something called implied odds. So yeah, I only have 40% to win, but if I flop big, then I could potentially win 77 more thousand.
I feel like you got to look at the odds, like the ones you're used to for normal sports on ESPN, where it goes like up and down. This is like the first quarter.
Yeah.
There's no cards on the table. There's nothing. So there's like so much time for that to flip and it not be like a 28-3 Falcons type thing.
I feel you. And so the fact that you're already in for 2, that changes it a little bit too, right?
Well, I was the original raiser. Yeah.
Got it. So he's in. You're like, fuck it. And you also don't know what he has. So you're like,
no, I do not.
Okay. Sick. Let's keep ripping.
T1000 with 7-8 of clubs. Oh my God. Flops the joint.
Fuck.
Has his opponent c-betting right into him. That's a pretty good flop for 7-8 of clubs.
Oh my God. And he just flats, hoping Bill hits something.
Oh my God. On the I love the commentary on that.
Yeah, so we get the absolute gin flop that we were looking for.
So that's just about the
5,
best.
6, 9. We flopped the nut straight with a backdoor flush draw because there's the 5 of clubs. It can't possibly get better.
It's about as good as it gets.
Yeah. Well, yeah, sure. You could flop a straight flush, but like
That's insane.
This is the dream in Hold'em, to call a big 3-bet pre versus a guy that has a really strong range, and then you just flop the world. You flop the nuts.
Flop the fucking nuts.
Yeah. So
and what do you think's going through Bill's head? Do you think he has any suspicion that you've just drawn a straight? Or
no, I mean, at this point, like I can still have anything. I could have pocket 2s. I could have pocket 3s. I could have 4s. I could have Jack 10 suited. I could have Ace 10. I could have Ace Jack. I could have him beat with Ace King or Ace Queen, and this could not be a good flop for me. I could have 7s, 8s. I could have 5s, 6s, 9s. My range is super wide still at this point. It's not really defined. So when Bill has the betting lead, and he had the betting lead because he re-raised pre-flop, he's going to pretty much c-bet like most flops.
Got it. So this is the dream scenario.
Yeah.
My God.
Oh my God.
Flops the joint.
And so he c-bets for 10K.
Right into him. That's a pretty good flop for 7-8 of clubs.
So he bets 10K, and then you're just gonna.
And he just flats.
Yeah, I don't think there's.
You're
You
calling.
can pause it now. I don't think there's anything else to do besides call.
So you're just calling, just pretending you just hit
Well,
nothing.
There's a few reasons to just call. I mean, there's really no reason to raise. If he had like his 3-betting range is going to be all big cards. It's going to be all big pairs. It's not really going to be 5s or 6s. It could be 9s, but not really. Oh yeah, it definitely could be 9s, but he's weighted towards big hand, like big cards and big pairs. So the times that he has big cards like Ace King, King Queen, Ace Queen, you never want to raise there because it's going to be hard for him to call. And you want to keep him in the pot. And then the times he has big pairs, sure, he might call a raise, but you're losing so much value by raising and potentially getting him to fold on the flop. So when you flop this big, the last thing you want is for them to fold. So there's really nothing else to do besides call.
Got it. So you're just keeping him on the line.
Yeah, it would be a disaster if I raised and then he got away.
Yeah. Okay. Brandon?
I got a question when the next
Paint
card
would be
flops.
disaster.
So this right here is like the ideal situation, right? Because it keeps him.
It's a perfect turn card.
Yeah, because now he thinks he has a pair, right? Or at least
he knows he has a pair.
Yeah, so
he turned top pair. He turned a strong hand. So now he's ahead of Ace King. He's ahead of Jacks. He's ahead of 10s. He's ahead of 7s. He's ahead of 8s. He's ahead of ace-9 suited, 9-10 suited.
So he's like, I'm fucking killing it right now.
He definitely likes this turn card, for sure. Yeah, this is a great turn card for him, and it's perfect for me.
Right.
Yeah, it all just
it's the ideal situation.
It fell in perfect place.
Holy shit!
Top pair for Perkins.
If you're a good pro,
this is going to be huge.
You're going to go ham in some spots. They're going to like double people up.
So can you pause it?
So
this is like the variance side of poker, right? Like, I can't do anything about that turn. I can't make that turn be a queen.
Yeah.
You know, I can make the right decision by just calling the flop, but if the turn's a deuce, he's probably done with the hand. So this is like the heater side, or like the upswing that I'm on. Like, the fact that the turn was a queen is so valuable for me, and it
because now he's ready.
Now
to get
it made
after
this pot so much bigger. So this is run good. This is the part of poker that like no one can control. You can put yourself. All you can do is like make the best decision possible to put yourself in that scenario, but you can't control what the turn is. So if that turn is a 7, that kills my action. Because now there's a 4-liner to the straight, and he only has king high, and he's just going to slow down and not put any more money in the pot.
Yeah.
So if the turn is a 5, 6, 7, 8, deuce, 3, 4, a 10, he's probably slowing down on all those cards and not putting any more money in the pot. So the turn is a queen, and that's really fortunate for me. So that's like the heater side, is like you just get the right runouts at the right time.
Like, if you're good, it means like sometimes
25,000. T1000 with just 67 behind. Does he ship it right here?
When they just kind of like are bluffing or calling you down, like I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, they want to play big shots.
The worst are like the guys that are just like, I'm a pro, but I'm here just like waiting.
Could be worried that some rivers could kill his action, like a spade.
All in.
All in.
There he goes.
Call.
The problem with that is
Bill makes the call.
You better run deep.
Wasn't.
T1000.
Go.
Bill drawing dead. Doesn't matter what we run on this river card. 175,000 going over to T1000 here at Lodge Card Club.
Have you flipped him yet?
Oh my God.
Yeah, we showed him.
Running bad.
What a flop.
Nice hand.
You're a loser.
Wow, dude.
Yeah,
Holy
I mean,
shit.
it all, like, the whole situation is just super fortunate for me. Like, him turning top pair, and then me deciding to shove over just call, because me deciding to shove over just call on the turn, that can be debated. Like, call might be the better decision. There was still 42,000 behind. If I just called, I still have 42,000 behind, and he could be bluffing. So trying to still keep him in the hand is not a bad idea, but at the same time, the board is getting draw heavy and kind of dicey. So there's kind of merit to both sides of getting the money in now before a scare card comes on the river, which, again, like, that's what happened. Like, I decided to shove, and if I didn't shove, the river is like the worst card. It's the ace of spades, so it puts an over to his card. It puts a potential flush. You know, I might not get the rest of it.
Yeah. But you got him because the ace was not on the table. He's like, I've got queens.
Yeah, and then his bet sizing on the turn, him betting 25 over like 15 or 20, just kind of made me feel like he wasn't going anywhere. And he had a made hand. And so that's kind of why I leaned towards shoving.
You've read the fuck out of him, dude.
I mean, he just got super unlucky with the turn.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, because the turn card the table set the bait.
Yeah, it looks, you know, like I played it great or whatever, but let's say I have 8s. Then I'm in fucking a horrible position on the turn. He turns top pair, he bets 25,000, and now I'm stuck. Like, and I probably end up folding.
Yeah.
So I mean, the turn is perfect, and then, you know, the hand that I had is perfect for the situation.
Now you're playing this situation, and you're like, you know, you're mic'd up. You know, at some point, 100,000 people are going to see this happen.
I did not know that. No, I was just thinking about the hand. I mean, I knew it was a big game, but yeah, I don't know.
So like the viewership doesn't change it. Doesn't change it at all. Does that like freak you out at all, or does that?
No, not really. Like the size of the game is the
biggest factor.
Yeah, is the biggest factor. Like playing, it's the biggest game of my life. So that's the pressure. It's not like the people watching is not really the pressure point.
So it's more or less the perfect storm. This is like one of the biggest games of your entire life. And then you get exactly the flop that you want. And then the river card is something that sort of baits Bill into this. And then it's game over.
And the last time I played this big, it was the biggest losing session of my life. I lost 150. So this was, I was definitely more comfortable this time. And I think I was more like mentally stable and prepared. But that comes with experience. Like if you want to play high stakes, you have to play high stakes.
Yeah.
You have to keep playing high stakes and get comfortable. There's no way around it. You can't just like play once in a while. So I'm trying to play as often as possible.
You look like pretty composed. Is your, I've started wearing this fucking heart rate monitor all the time, right? 56 right now, doing pretty good, no big deal. But do you think like is your heart beating out of your chest? Are you like?
It was pumping.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't like there wasn't ice in my veins for sure. I was definitely feeling it. Like you could see in my face like like I just take like a big breath. Let's
watch the reaction.
Oh my God! You're playing super tight and just running, babe.
What a flop!
That was a big breath.
Oh my God!
Oh my God!
They're like, okay, push your chips out. Okay.
You're a loser.
100%.
Bill seems like pretty composed.
Bill was laughing.
Yeah. Was that a genuine laugh, or do you think he was upset?
No, he's
laughing.
Genuinely unshakable at the table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh fuck! There goes 175.
Oh yeah, he's like, oh okay,
whatever.
More chips.
Keep moving.
Reload. He's like he's.
I've been in this game for years.
That is like how I want to play poker one day. But I mean, to get to that, you just have to have an obscene amount of money. Like the money on this table does not matter to him, so it can't really emotionally affect him. Now, if that was a $100 million pot, he might not be smiling. It's all relative.
Yeah.
It's all relative.
All relative.
If that was a $100 million pot, $200 million pot, he's probably not smiling. But 175K, it's like, if I lose a 5K pot, all right, whatever, next hand.
Yeah. It's not the end of the world.
No, it's all relative.
This is pretty incredible, dude. I mean, just the fact that like the biggest pot of your life is just live on the internet.
Yeah, it's there's a recording of it. That's cool.
Now, like, this has got to be a total game changer, just having the live streams and everything, because I'm sure, like every quarterback goes back and they watch the tape over and over again, right? But I'm sure for like poker, it was tough to know like what you actually did on the table, like what you did right and what you did wrong. You're just like, yeah, I think when I had ace queen suited, I think I did this and I think he had that, but I can't really remember. Now it's like, this is what happened definitively.
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, it's nice to be able to go back and have the exact action, but if you're a professional poker player, if you play for a living, you remember every detail of important hands, or you just write them down. So like, the stream thing is kind of new in the last 4 years, but the previous 6 years that I was playing, I just would write hands down or remember the exact action and talk to my friends about the hands to try to improve or get better.
That is kind of sick. It's impeccable memory. By the way, speaking of reloading, should we reload the old fashions real quick?
Sure.
Let's do it.
You guys earned it. Good job.
Sick. Oh yeah, so so you've won the biggest hand of your life.
Yeah, and then I won like a few more pots after that. So I was pretty.
So you're pretty stoked.
Yeah, I had a lot in front of me. And then this hand came up.
All right, let's see it.
Yeah.
Have 8s, and I'm gonna hate my fucking life.
Full screen us if you don't mind.
Raise it 2,000. I will play.
So it's
Bill
Hook.
Perkins is back in.
Yeah, me, Hook, and Bill play this pot.
I love aces too. That's sick.
Dude,
I was in the 800 straddle. Hook opened to
I think you
2K
shoved queen
in the
straight
small
and
in
kings, so I don't know.
one of the blinds.
Folks, coming up on finishing hour number 8.
Jesus Christ.
So we flop top 2, and Hook has the betting lead, and he c-bets 4,000.
So he's looking at this. He's like, he could draw straight.
Yeah, he has an open-ended straight draw plus an overcard to the queen. So yeah, this is a good flop for him, especially since there's no flush draw. So it's queen 10 deuce rainbow. If it was like queen 10 deuce with 2 hearts, his straight draw is not as advantageous. But anyway, yeah.
We got the TKO jerky ripping.
That's so good.
We're locked and loaded.
Chatsville has demanded not 1 overtime, but 2 overtimes. We'll go a little while longer.
Bill, do you ever go up
if that's okay with y'all?
Chicago at all?
No, not really.
So Hook c-bets, hey, don't knock down Reed. Ada wants to be in the shot. Joe Begley. So Hook c-bets 4K, Bill folds, and we call, obviously, with top 2. And then the turn is a 5 of diamonds. Hook decides to check this turn, and we bet 10,000.
Sick.
2 pair for T1000. Hook.
There's still no flush draw, so
Open-ender.
the only draws left are straight draws.
Chicago is an amazing city, in my opinion.
Summer.
And this is from someone who lives in Texas. Chicago is the clearly superior city to New York.
Of course.
Because when it burnt down, they could rebuild it correctly. And they have alleys, and the trash goes in the right places, and it's newer, and it's just like the better version of
So
New York.
Hook check calls 10K.
Yeah.
Doug's talking shit about New York.
The lake, but you drink by the lake in the summer. Oh,
it's amazing. Amazing.
Oh, no.
Yeah, the river is a disaster for us. It's the 9 of clubs, so we're fucked. And Hook is a old school pro from back in the day. He, I think he's from Houston, and now he just plays like nosebleeds everywhere. Like he's always playing the biggest games. He's just really well connected in the poker world, and he makes like a really, really sharp check here on the river. It's not so much the check; it's like how fast he checks and how like nonchalant he checks is like it just shows kind of how like talented and sharp the guy is.
So
like he doesn't even think about betting. Like
makes you think he's got nothing.
Yeah, it's just like I'm checking. I have something that I want to show down. I'm gonna call you if you bet. Like that's exactly how you check if you're just check calling. So he's very balanced.
Yeah, I love going to Chicago in the that's why last year I was like,
and I have to bet. Like I have way too strong of a hand to ever check. I don't like the 9, but
let's see what T1000 does here. Flopping top 2. Hook gets there on the river.
The other end of variance.
Theaters and like
yeah.
You can like dress up like a little more.
Yeah. I've been out at night there. It's just
46K.
It's too cold.
Yeah, I bet 12,000 into 34K. I kind of down bet it.
One of my favorite restaurants.
And he check raises to 100,000.
Hook puts 4.
If you notice immediately, like I stare at him. I start to try to get a read.
Wait, hold on, get a little.
Like as soon as he bet, and then I'm breathing heavy again. I've never been check raised to 100,000 before in my life, so this is all like getting.
So it went from nothing. It went from I got 2 pair.
I've got top 2. I've got like pretty much the nuts.
Yeah.
To now the river completed a straight, and I still have to value bet my hand, and the guy check raises me to 100,000. Now,
ladies and gentlemen, there we go.
Yeah.
So you're thinking here, like, are you thinking he's full of shit, or are you thinking he's got something?
I'm trying to stay locked into the hand.
Mm-hmm.
So when I went to bet the river, like I was staying pretty well aware that a check raise could be coming, and then if it is coming, I need to pay really close attention to his body language, just everything. I need to pay attention to the action. So like I see him grab the big chips, and then he check raises to 100K. There's also like
the orange despair chips.
Yeah,
like,
there's other factors. Like there's other there's other factors, like the size of the game, the check raise, the huge size. Those thoughts try to creep their way in and like get in way of making a decision just based on the hand.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have to kind of like do your best to block those out and not think about the money. So yeah, and then I go into the tank and I start to talk the hand out loud and think about the possible bluffs that he could have, which is.
So what would he be bluffing with here?
So he's going to be bluffing with a jack. So the jack is like the key card to make a straight. So if he has a hand like jack 9 or ace jack, that is like the perfect bluff candidate. Like jack 9, even though it's a pair of nines, it's not going to win at showdown versus this bet, because I'm either going to have a good queen or a great 10 or a 2 pair. It's just probably not going to win. So that's a good bluff candidate. And then ace jack is obviously ace high, but having the jack blocks me from having the straight. It doesn't guarantee that I don't have the straight, but it makes it way less likely that I have a jack in my hand.
Okay. So
JC's in the blender.
And T1000.
JC's in the blender.
He's had one hell of a night. Up 180,000.
So you got the potential to lose all your gains right here.
Yeah. If I call and I'm wrong, I'm up a little bit, but pretty much dump back all the winnings.
So you should do a hand of the week.
It's solemn.
Like review?
Yeah. Just like cap it to like 8-10 minutes.
A little sweat.
And just.
The problem is that some weeks you want to do.
What a handsome guy.
That's fine.
And then some weeks you want to do 0, because if there's no good hand,
T1000
it's what?
in the blender. He's having a hell of a night tonight. It could be.
What are you gonna say for Bill? Let everybody know that.
At this point, I started to get comfortable with
wins this pot.
I started to get comfortable with the read.
$250,000.
It's not something like you can kind of quantify, but like you kind of just start to get like you get a feel for what they have. I mean, this hand's pretty basic. Like he either has king jack or he has ace jack or he has jack 9. But it's just like when you're in these spots and in these tanks, you kind of
I'm sure there's a lot of them.
You have to just be aware of like where your gut's kind of leaning towards.
I qualify. I did 20.
What does he do here, chat?
What does he do
What if he
here?
calls 2 if he folds?
When guys are doing, 70s, looks like it's small potatoes,
So you're saying you were playing 5-10 and then you
Right, yeah. I'm trying to play with you boys with my 5-10 stack.
He's thinking. I'm getting nervous just watching.
Yeah, the thought also went through my head: if I call and win, I'm up $250,000.
Jesus.
He's chilling.
So that's enticing too.
Jungle doesn't feel anything.
Lays it down.
Oh my God.
Hook bluff. This is a classic hook bluff.
It seemed like it, but it's not.
T1000's gonna love this.
He showed it to you.
Gonna love it.
You gonna show him yours?
You went to calling school. What happened to you?
You bucked Brad.
You're not gonna like that.
I know, that's what I was thinking.
Let me pause it.
Did you flip yours?
No, I mucked my hand. But like I've had a few people reach out to me about this hand, rightfully so. Like, because you know, like they knew it was, you know, the biggest game I've ever played in, and I had kind of every reason to call. So I had like 3 reasons to call. First reason, I bet small on the river. It's kind of like an inducing bet with top 2.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I bet really big and he raises, it's an easier fold. But I bet 12,000 into 34K, which is kind of inducing somebody to raise.
Yeah.
So that's one reason to call. The next reason is it's the nit game and he has a nit button. So he has a reason to bluff. And then the third is he just lost the previous hand. He lost a huge pot. So everyone's human. Like when you lose a big pot, the next hand you kind of try to win a little more.
Yeah, you're pushing.
You push a little more. You kind of take a gamble when you shouldn't. You know, you just press the action a little hard, like you tend to.
Mm-hmm.
So I had like all the reasons to call, and so like a few of my friends have picked my brain on like, did you just fold because of the size? Because it's, you know, so big and like you didn't want to blow back your winnings. Sure, maybe. I didn't in the moment. I didn't feel like I folded for that reason. That might have influenced it subconsciously at some point. Like before I fold, like holy shit, like that's just like I just don't want to lose what I'm up. That could have that might have influenced it a bit, but in the moment I was just trying to go with like the read and I felt like he got there. Like I felt like he had it. I stared him down multiple times. He's a really strong, balanced player, so he
was there any tell on his face?
I mean, he was giving off strength, but I say that, and he's probably gonna act the exact same way if he was bluffing. This guy is used to playing these stakes. He doesn't blink at big pots. He's not gonna be nervous to bluff $100,000. So I can say like, oh yeah, I got a read on him, and he was super comfortable and confident, and I owned him. But I don't think that's the case. I think he would have probably acted the exact same way and looked the same way if he was bluffing, and he would have owned me if he had ace jack. I was content, maybe because of the fact that I was up a lot. I was content with like if he is bluffing, like great play, but like my gut was leaning towards he had it, and I usually just go. Yeah, I try to always go with my gut.
It's an unbelievable with the top 2 pair too. It's like it's just crazy.
It's the same fold as like folding a set. So if I had 3 queens or 3 tens, I don't have 3 queens a lot because I probably re-raise pre-flop, but definitely have 3 deuces, 3 tens sometimes, probably re-raise tens pre, but yeah, it's a big hand to lay down, and I could have easily called. Like no one would have blamed me for calling.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was another.
But you just made the right call.
Just everything kind of like went my way that day, and then you know, like I said, the last time I played that big, everything went against me. So it's not a lot of times, like in the short term, it's not things you can really control. All you can do is just try to make the best decision in the moment based on your experience.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
It's
intense.
It's an insane situation too.
I would like one day for this not to be so intense, and that's the goal, is to eventually play these stakes where it's not life or death.
But do you think the intensity in that situation helped you play the cards more correctly? Like, do you think if this was
No, I think it hurts somewhat to play over your head or to play with a bigger portion of your bankroll that you're used to. But it's something you have to do if you want to move up. It's growing pains. It's never easier to play bigger or with more of your bankroll on the table. It's always easier to play with less and to play where the money doesn't matter.
Got it. Yeah, I feel like playing out of your league, it's in a situation where you should call. It's terrifying, and that changes the game entirely.
But playing bigger more often is helping me separate the two and just try to play poker. It's still not perfect, but it's getting better. It's improving. I'm getting a little more comfortable.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I think
yeah.
I mean, I think this hand is, to me, more impressive than the big win, right? Like, Brandon, you agree?
Yeah, like to read it and to get out of there was smart because you could have kept calling and calling.
That's right, Brandon.
And
I could have kept calling and calling.
Call on me.
You guys are perfect fucking poker
Dude, well,
analysts.
You didn't fucking.
You could have kept calling and calling, my man.
You didn't bring me in because you thought I was a statistical genius. All right, that's not why I'm here.
What did you say the other day? Like, how many hands were on the table?
How many hands?
So there was like 4 hands on the table.
Personally, my favorite type of table had 7 hands on it.
I like 2 hands.
I
like 2 hands on my behind.
Just want your 2. Hey, that song by Tate McRae really gets me going. I want your 2 hands on me at all times, baby.
Put your hands on my hips. All right, are we done here?
We did it, dude.
Yeah, that was a good
episode 1.
Episode 1.
Episode 1. I think it's Brandon. Do you agree? Yeah. Locked and loaded, baby. Yeehaw! Woo!
Reed agrees.
We
He's
did
having
it.
a good time.